Okay, going to try and do a tutorial-ish about the leather tips that I do. They should come out looking somewhat like this. The black marks are actually just chemical staining because iron interacts with the tannins and makes things black. This is for one of my dagger blades. This piece of leather that I'm using is about just a 1/16 over 5/8 of an inch, and it's about 3.5 to 3.75 inch long. The thickness of this stuff is about 1/8 of an inch. So take the piece, it's been soaking in water for a bit, so it is nice and pliable. I can kind of bend it and do the thing. You're going to want to start bending it in half. And yep, there will be water that's still coming out of it. Probably means it's too wet, but it'll work for our purposes. So you're going to want to bend it so that it's roughly making a tube. And then you're going to want to start bending it this way. Now, as soon as you do that, you'll notice that it does that obnoxiousness. So what you need to do is you kind of need to work it and just bend it, and it'll start to do the thing. You get to the point where when you bend this in, it'll pop out and you can just kind of do that back again. And you'll see it start to form a U shape there. Now, this particular dagger has a piece of basically metal. I think it's JB welded to the tip, so that's kind of a rolled edge. Now, when you've gotten it mostly kind of in the general vicinity, you're going to want to make certain that it's roughly fitting on your tip. And you can see that it is. Now, I have this in a vise. It is not going to behave exactly as I would like it to, the dagger that is. But you're going to keep wanting to form it and get it narrow. Now, once you've gotten it to about here, I'm going to pull this out of the vise and see if I can get this to sit any better. Now, once I get to this point, I need a piece of string. Of course, all of my pieces of string are tied up. So, I have a piece of string. String gives me the start point. Because with that, I can get this mostly where I want to. Try not to knock over the camera. So this is partially how I just get them to sit tight. Now, that's still a little thicker than we might want. So from here, what I end up doing is I will take clamps or clips or whatever you need to. I also found that binder clips can also work. Because the idea is that you basically just want to kind of squish everything down to make it as tight as you can get it. Now this top part here, that's going to be difficult. You can do a couple of things with. You can use another spring clamp and kind of just put it on there as you need to. One of the other things that will work is a small clamp or a vise. And basically, you're going to get that situated, and yep, you're just going to kind of tighten down on it. Because everything is all bound up, it should reasonably stay where it needs to be. Yep, there's a fair amount of water leaking out of it, but that's fine. Now, the black discoloration you saw in the other one, that's going to come from all the metal bits on those. But leave it like this until it dries, or is mostly dry, and you will end up with a fairly solid tip. You can add rawhide under it, but it's going to kind of depend on the thickness you need for your tip, but that will kind of squish everything.